My name is Craig. I'm a power host on tour with 11 vehicles. Here's a random tip. Aftermarket GPS systems. Now, I got it. A lot of these newer cars already have some form of LoJack, some form of GPS, but it's very limited. It really only tells you where the vehicle's at. It's not necessarily real time, and that's really all it tells you. Now, originally, I got these GPS systems just in case I ever needed to repo any of my vehicles, which I've actually only had to do once. And again, it was a price issue. But where it really came in handy was speeders. So if I had never put these GPS systems in the cars, I would have never known. I would have never known that people are just romping on my cars. I get it, it's a rental car. You might do a little speed here and there, but once you start getting into triple digits, like, that's not okay. Now it's kind of a different ballgame. So the GPS system that I use is called Brickhouse Security. You want to get the ones that you hardwire into the cars. There's ones that you plug into the little information port, the same that the car shops use to like read your check engine light. What's the point of that? If you see this big block thing, you're gonna know what it is, or at least be able to read what it is, and just unplug it. And just like that, now your GPS system doesn't work. And then they have ones that wire directly into the car battery, which, all right, sounds good, till you pop the hood and you see the wires in the battery. All you have to do is unhook that, and now just like that, your GPS don't work no more. So Brickhouse offers a one that you hardwire into the car. What I do is I take it to a radio guy, my good friend Mr. Jimenez at Jimenez Audio in Rayford. I'll post his stuff at the end of this video, as well as all the information for the specific GPS tracking system that I use. But you take it to a radio guy. My radio guy knows what he's doing. He's had some experience. He's had a lot of experience with just me alone, let alone other people as well who have other fleets. And he hardwires it on some James Bond stuff. So you're not going to find it. It's not just poking around. It's not obvious. The guests don't even know. The guests don't know unless I have to bring it up that, like, they're doing something crazy in my car or lying about something. And I'll get into all that in just a minute here. Now, the GPS system itself is not that expensive. It's actually rather cheap. I want to say sometimes they're on sale for like $20 or so, sometimes less. I think the most I've ever paid is like $40 for the actual unit. Then you're going to pay someone to install it, which might cost a little bit, never too much. What they want to charge is what they want to charge you. I'm not going to say what I get charged, because what I get charged might be a little different than what you get charged. But either way, it's not super expensive. And then you pay essentially a membership, if you will. And you could pick which plan you want. So I don't even think I picked the top plan. I think I picked the one right below it. And now I get detailed information about your trip. So I can see where you're at and how fast you're going. And it updates in increments of 60 seconds for every device I have. And that yearly subscription, I want to say, is like 150-ish a year. And the more you get, the bigger your discount. So like now I'm paying barely over 100 a year per device, which is honestly, it's nice to have. Having this has definitely saved me thousands of dollars, because like I said, I would have never known. I would have never known that so-and-so was doing 112 miles an hour in my Toyota. Would have never known. It comes in handy, and here's how I address, because already I know I'm gonna get flooded with questions about how I handle that. So with speeders, rewind. What I like about it is I can set alerts. So I set an alert at 98 miles an hour. GPS systems are usually off between 2 and 3 miles an hour. So if you're doing 98, 99.9% of the time you're doing 100 plus. So I set an alert. I can name the alert. Also, I can name all my vehicles. I'll post that at the end of the video too and show you kind of what it looks like. I can name each vehicle. I could change like the little image of the vehicle, and then I can set alerts for each vehicle. So I labeled it all the way across: reckless speeding, 98 miles an hour, sends an alert directly to my phone. Now, do this with reason. I don't want to word that. React within reason is better. Think about it for a minute. Don't just immediately get pissed off that someone's speeding in your car. Think about it. Like, all right, I have a newer car, or say I have a BMW, or well, actually I do, but say you own like a nicer car, or even if it's not a nicer car, it's maybe, it's a lot of times it's usually my Toyotas. But they're newer Toyotas. They're newer than whatever they had. So with that being said, like, yeah, they're probably going to get on it a little bit, see what it can do. Now, if they just get on it once and they don't go too crazy, like they hit like 98, 99, and it's just like kind of a one and done, I'll leave it alone. Now, if they're repeatedly doing it, or they're passing that threshold, like they're hitting 100, 110, 115, 116 plus, no matter what, I'm saying something. And how and what you say is very important in this game. Everything you do, whether you're doing rental cars or whatever you're doing, if you are an entrepreneur and you are running your own business, everything is based on ratings and reviews. So you can't just say what you want to say or what you deserve to say to certain scenarios. You can't just be like, yo, motherfucker, what are you doing? Why are you doing 115 in a Toyota? Slow the fuck down. Or like, bitch, like, you are 7 months pregnant and you're doing 120 in a Toyota. Like, who raised you? These are all things, while you deserve to say them and you may want to say them, you can't. So what I do is, I'm not going to give away my whole spiel. I really leave that for my mentorship program, like all my pre-written messages. Like that's really main for my mentorship program that I got going on. So they actually have, like, I don't hold anything back from them. Like, they see everything to the T. But I'll explain it instead of saying it word for word. So it's, if I haven't already sent my checkup message, it'll be something along the lines of checking up on them, making sure the vehicle is okay, first off, you know, which we know it is because they're doing 110 miles an hour. And then it is reassurance to let them know that they can feel comfortable to reach out to me at any time. And then it's addressing the speeding in a way that's designed to not feel attacking or make them feel threatened or, you know, attacked in any way, shape, or form. But it is still addressing it. Now, 98% of the time, the response is always the same. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I had no idea I was going that fast. Like, we know you're lying. You know you're doing over 100 miles an hour in a Toyota. But I appreciate the lie. But, you know, they'll lie. And then they'll say, you know, something along the lines of, oh, I love Sade, or whoever the vehicle is. The vehicle's great. Will do. Thank you so much for everything. You're amazing. You know, something along those lines. And then I'll pull up the GPS out of curiosity, and then you'll see all of a sudden like 65, 60, 65, 60, 70, 75, 60, normal speeds. Like, enjoy your trip, man. Like, do you? There still is that 2% though. So there's that 2%, like I'll get, you know, maybe one of that percent will usually try to lie, and they'll be like, oh, I'm not speeding, or something along those lines. Like, oh, the car is great, but no, I'm not doing that. You don't have to worry about that. Like, you know, I'm not crazy. I value my life. Something along those lines. And to address that, I'll just say, oh, okay, you know, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I was just concerned because I got an alert at such and such place, at such and such time, at such and such speed. Then it's, oh my God, I had no idea I was going that fast. Just, the car is really fast and I didn't know, but I'll keep an eye on that. Thank you so much. I love the car. It's great. I can't wait to rent from, you know, just all that stuff. But it works. And then there's that 1%. There's that 1% that will look at the message and then not respond to it and just keep doing what they're doing. Or they just won't open the message because they can get a preview of the message without actually opening it. And then they just try to ignore it. How I handle that is I'll send them a message directly, so people don't realize we can just send them a message directly to their actual phone. So I'll just copy and paste the same damn message to their actual phone, and then I'll wait for a response. Sometimes that usually works, and then I get that same response that I always get, but then sometimes there's some people who are just, I don't know, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You can't argue with them. You can't reason with them, nothing. So I've had onesies and twosies. I've had people tell me, Like, hey, I'm insured, I pay for the insurance, and I drive trucks for a living, so you don't need to micromanage me. And you messaging me, this one message I sent, by the way, this you messaging me is upsetting, and I would never rent from you again, and blah 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 blah. Or they just ignore me, and they ignore, if it gets to that point, you can contact customer support. So I contact customer support, upload the proof to your trip document, to your trip photos, so that way customer support has access to that. They can see, okay, yeah, he has a GPS, time, place, dates, all that stuff. And then customer support will reach out to them too, and if they give them about an hour pretty much, and if they're still acting reckless after that hour, after customer support reach out to them, even if they ignore customer support, the clock starts ticking as soon as customer support calls. As of now, it's an hour. I'm sure that'll change over time, but as of now, it's an hour. So after that, if they're still flying in your shit, you call customer support. Now customer support takes things a notch further. They're gonna instruct them to, like, return the vehicle and all types of stuff like that. But use judgment in a scenario like that. Because now, think about it for a minute. If someone's acting all reckless in your car, and they're flying and they're speeding and they're ignoring you and they're ignoring customer support, and now they got to cancel their trip and they got to bring the vehicle back, they might, like, they're already showing signs of not giving a fuck. So what do you think they're going to potentially do to your car now? So tread carefully. This is not to discourage you, because for me, it's onesies and twosies. Like, I've had hundreds of trips. It's only onesies and twosies that I've had to deal with this. And in the beginning, it was a price issue. It still happens. In the beginning, it was a price issue, and it was a little bit more than onesies and twosies. Now it's just onesies and twosies that I'm priced appropriately. But other than that, it's been great. Aftermarket GPS systems, trust me, just get it. Pay for it. If you end up LLCing and making an actual business out of this, then at the end of the day, it's a tax write-off anyways. All of it. From purchasing it, to installing it, to paying for the subscription, it's all a tax write-off. It is truly a business expense. You're not doing this for personal reasons. It's a business write-off. It's a tax write-off. Write it off. Annotate it. Also, they come in handy if you have kids. You got kids, you got teenagers, you got daughters that are getting licensed and shit now. You got, teenage boys that you aren't so sure if they're going to be wilding out in the cars. Like, it's much better than than all the other shit you're going to get. Like, they have tracking systems through your insurance companies that can see how fast you're going, which is great. But if they do it, then your rates are going to jump up. Your rate's going to already be high for insuring a kid, a teenager or whatever, on your policy. So this is actually a good alternative to see where your kids are at, what they're doing, without them even knowing. Unless you tell them, they're not going to know. There's no noise, there's no flashing red button, just always blinking. There's no notification on your phone. Hey, like an Apple AirTag is nothing. They will have no idea. Be responsible with that information. Don't be a creep. But if it comes in handy for your children, yeah, most definitely. I would totally do that. Like, my son is, if I'm still doing this when my son is that age, and eventually I could pass his business off to him, he's probably already going to know about the GPS systems. But yeah, all my cars have GPS tracking systems in them. So if he ever starts wilding out one day and I catch him doing 120 in one of my cars, I could say something. And other than that, like I said, it's definitely saved me probably thousands of dollars. Because had I not done that, I would have never known. Because it happens often. It does. Like, the speeding happens often. Now, the people who give me a problem with it, that doesn't happen that often. Like I said, 98% of the time, when they do speed, they respond really well to that first message, and then they knock it off. There's just that 2% that doesn't. But it happens all the time. All the time. Literally happened today. Literally happened today. 116 miles an hour than 101 and 100 and something else in my BMW. And nice lady, I love them. Like, I talked to her, I talked to her kids. I think her kids were talking about joining the military. I told them what any other guy who joined the army, especially in the combat MOS, I'm getting off topic, never mind. But she did say, oh, you don't have to worry about that. I value my life. And then I had to hit her with, well, I was just concerned. I got an alert at such and such place, at such and such time, at such and such speed. Then it was, oh, I'm so sorry. I had no idea it was going that fast. And she's been good ever since. It's fine. But it happens. But if you don't have those systems in your car, you'll never know. So if you're averaging, I don't know, 30 rentals a month, in 20 of those rentals are people flying in your cars over 100 miles an hour, driving aggressive, thinking it's Grand Theft Auto, you're going to have a lot more maintenance on your cars. Your cars are no longer going to last as long as they could. Longevity is a huge part of this specific game. As always, I'm your power host, Craig, and I hope I can provide a better experience. Here is what that GPS looks like, and it's way cheaper than I thought it was. It was $9.99. As a matter of fact, I think the price went down because it used to be a little bit more expensive, and over time, they've dropped. Here is a preview of what the breakdown looks like. You can see where each vehicle is at, real time, how fast they're going. Elvira is the only one in motion, and here's a little bit of a breakdown of what it looks like. I'm not going to show everything because it's sensitive information. And here's my good friend, Mr. Jimenez, over at Jimenez Audio. The best work I've ever had done, hands down.